What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, and I stumbled across an article today that I wanted to share with you. Someone has found an incredibly rare Sega arcade cabinet rotting in a field. The Sega R360 was perhaps the most bombastic example of the company's arcade 1980s arcade flex, a cabinet that only supported 2 games, and which only 200 units were ever made. The 2 games were 1990's G-Lock Air Battle, followed by Wing War in 1994. While most of the surviving R360s were being preserved in collections or arcades, one has been sitting outside in a farm in Northern Ireland for ages, just rusting away like something out of a Stalker or a Simon Stollenberg painting. I have no idea who that is. Lee Peters, a member of a Facebook group, found the cabinet in 2020, but only recently returned for a second look and took the photos you're seeing on this post. It was apparently the centerpiece of a nearby arcade in its prime, before being shuffled off onto the farm for storage by its owner, who never picked it up. I mean, wouldn't you store this in like a barn or something? It looks like it's just sitting outside. Sounds like somebody wasn't paying their rent. So I don't know about you, but for me personally, big Sega arcade cabs, one thing comes to mind for me, and it's Afterburner. I mean, that was just the one that stuck out in my mind. Big flight simulator from the late 80s. Top Gun sort of inspired with the F-14 Tomcat. That was the thing from my childhood. So this, I got a short little video here showing some of the gameplay, how this would sort of move front and back, and then it would sort of swing. The seat would swing left and right, and I thought that was just amazing. That was cool. Really was like the pinnacle of the arcade experience. The thing that you really just couldn't get at home. But as I started to look into this cab, it made me realize Afterburner ain't got nothing on this. So on the Sega Does website, when talking about the game, they briefly mention, of course, his arcade cab. It said, as you play, the ladder turns in whatever direction you turn the jet, even upside down. Upside down? That's that's insane. That's crazy. Only 200 of these things were made. And they only released 2 games on it. Why? Why, oh why could I not have found this when I was a kid? But I got more to show you. So you look here, you see some of the panels are removed. Some actual person in there having the time of their life, I can only imagine. It's like something you would see off like a space camp. Just more of the cab. But then I did a little deep dive and found the Japanese website that discusses in a little more detail the cab itself. Obviously, I can't read the Japanese writing. I really liked this sort of this promotional poster here, and I couldn't help but notice on the bottom that there's someone in there actually upside down. I mean, it was on the poster. It was a big selling point. But then I started to dig into some of the specifics. This is pretty wild. So the first thing you notice on the spec sheet is a 3-phase isolation transformer. 3-phase power? Okay. Circuit breakers, you have servo motors with the corresponding servo driver, which is kind of a big deal. That's not just a run-of-the-mill motor. Game modes, you got the video inputs. Laserdisc technology was being used that predated DVDs and CDs. You had a 20-inch monitor inside with a 10-inch monitor outside on that little control tower. And then what blows me away is the power consumption on this thing. So in the USA, you had 3-phase 240-volt power with 50 amp rating. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, your stove at home does not draw 50 amps on 240 volt. It's also not 3-phase, but it doesn't pull 50 amps. And while I'm sure it didn't actually draw all 50 amps of that 3-phase power, I think it gives you an idea of the experience you would have had if you had a chance to get into one of these cabinets. So although this cab may be too far gone, the Sega R360 will never be forgotten. We'll see you next time.